You ever feel like improving yourself is just impossibly hard? Like all the big goals in life are kind of reserved for other people? Well, today we're going to dive into this fascinating phenomenon that asks a really bold question. What if all of that is just wrong? What if self-improvement is, well, easy actually? All right, let's just jump right in with a little thought experiment. Think about a goal that you've probably put on the back burner. You know, something like learning a whole new language. Now, what if you could just do it easily?
Okay. Learning a language is one thing, but let's up the ante, right? What about a goal that could totally change your life? Like, I don't know, building $1 million net worth.
But it doesn't even stop with skills and money. What if we go way deeper, to the very core of who you are? Could you just decide to be more charismatic, more social, or, and get this, even just get a personality? I know, it sounds kind of nuts, doesn't it? But there's this YouTube channel, Easy Actually, and it has built an audience of over 1 million subscribers by claiming that the answer to all of these huge, life-altering challenges is a simple, straightforward yes. So, how in the world does this work? How do you get so many people to believe that life's toughest problems are actually simple? Let's deconstruct the formula behind this whole thing.
And what's so wild is that the formula is ridiculously simple. The entire channel, every single video, is built on this one repeatable pattern. You take any goal that feels totally overwhelming and you just tack on those 3 little words, is easy actually.
And they apply this to, well, everything. Health, money, skills. But you gotta look at this last category, because this is where it gets really fascinating. Social and mental growth. Becoming social, becoming charismatic, not being insecure. These aren't just things on a to-do list. They're about changing who you are at your core. And they're all presented like they're no big deal.
So what do people most want an easy button for? This chart, wow, it tells an incredible story. The channel's biggest video, with a mind-blowing 9.1 million views, is Becoming Smart. And right behind it are these deeply personal goals like getting a personality and becoming charismatic. This just shows you there's this huge human desire not just for external wins, but for an easier path to fixing what's going on inside our own heads. Okay, so we've got the formula, and we can see the demand is there. But why is it so powerful? Why does it work so well? Let's get into the psychology of it, because this is all about how our brains are wired. Now think about this for a second. We're not talking about a channel with thousands of uploads. It's just 23 videos. So how do you start a movement of over 1 million people with such a small amount of content? What's the psychological magnet here? Just let that number sink in. Over 1 million people. Every single one of them hit that subscribe button because they were hooked by one single promise: that the most complicated, messy parts of their lives could be simple. So the secret sauce is this really powerful principle called cognitive ease. At the end of the day, our brains are lazy. They're hardwired to save energy. They love information that's simple and easy to digest. So when a huge problem like, how do I stop being so insecure, is repackaged as an easy-to-follow guide, our brain just gets this little hit of relief. It feels right because it feels simple. And this slide lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got reality. It's overwhelming, it's messy, and success is definitely not guaranteed. But on the right, you have the easy actually framing. Suddenly, overwhelming becomes approachable. 1 million different variables become one clear path. It's a total mental shift that makes taking action feel not just possible, but almost inevitable. So what's the big lesson here? I mean, beyond just analyzing the YouTube channel, what can we take away from this? It all comes down to one thing: the incredible, underrated power of framing. And here's the real kicker. The success of this whole thing suggests that the biggest wall we run into isn't the task itself. It's the story we tell ourselves about the task. Our belief that it's going to be difficult becomes the main thing that stops us. So if we wanted to actually use this mindset, it'll look something like this. First, you reframe the intimidating goal. You just decide to call it simple. Second, you simplify your actions down to the absolute bare essentials. And third, and this is key, you start from a place of belief. You act as if it's already possible. Which leaves us with one final big question. Is the secret to achieving the impossible really just believing that it's easy? Or does that simple belief, as powerful as it is, maybe ignore the real, messy work that has to happen when that confidence smacks into reality? You know, maybe the true insight here isn't that difficult things are secretly easy, but that believing they are is the most powerful way to actually start that very, very difficult journey. Something to think about.